So today we're going to be looking at the Fifine D6 Stream Controller, and we're going to see how it stacks up to the Steam Deck. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Beatwalker and welcome back to another video. So today we're looking at the Fifine D6 AmpliGame. It's like their gaming devices, so microphones, capture card, and stuff like this stream controller, etc. So they've done a really good job of introducing a lot of these to the market. So we'll see how this compares to the Steam Deck, although I do have just the 6-key Steam Deck, but either way, I think just looking at some of the program differences and it's something that's a budget-friendly option for you, and I'll give you my overall take whether it's something that you should pick up. Okay, just taking a look at the Fifine page here, it is an $80 product, but it does have 15 customizable buttons, which is really nice because if you look at the Stream Deck, it is about $130. So it's about a $50 difference. So it could save you some cash if that's something you're looking for. Now the smaller version of the Stream Deck Mini is about 60 bucks. So far with the D6, you're getting a lot more buttons, a little bit more of the price. So I guess looking at the compatibility, is it something that will work for you? So let's take a look at that. One thing off the bat that the D6 does have is it has, RGB, which is cool, but it does have some bigger buttons that I noticed. So the buttons are a little bit bigger, easier to see, but the coverage does slim down on the pictures, but the quality is great, as you can see in these videos, and I'll show you it live, but it's not going to be the perfect representation as something as high quality as these videos. Compatibility with a lot of software is already in place, and it does have a store which you can download apps, etc. So I'll show you that, and obviously it does work for Windows and Mac at the moment. I didn't have any problems setting this up. I know some people had issues with connectivity. I have it connected to external USB hub, no issues there. So I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be a problem with connecting your device. All right, so once you get everything installed, and as you can see, the program is a pretty good representation of something like the Stream Deck software already. So if you're familiar with that, then you can jump right in. If you're not, it's really easy to follow regardless. And as you can see, a lot of the software that's already installed will be here for you. And then you can always go to their app store, I guess you could say, and search for different plugins. What I do like about the store as opposed to something like the Stream Deck takes you to the website and you have to download it there. I do like that this is just a pop-up and it's easy to search through a lot of things that are available for you. I haven't really gone through a lot of these, and it may be something that you can kind of play with, YouTube ticker, but there is a lot of programs on here that would probably work with just about everything you need. I guess some of the main things we would focus on here is stuff like OBS, Spotify music, Discord is a big one for gamers. So for me personally, I don't stream a whole lot, so I wouldn't use it too much, but occasionally when I'm playing with friends, etc., I do like having like the Discord mute button, which is really cool. And there's a couple of things that I built out on here that I'll show you, but playing Spotify in the background, some different tests you can do like Speedtest, which is really handy. So let's go through. All right, so we're gonna go through just how to add some of these and then what it looks like on here. So I just add a clean page there, and that's one thing I'll show you real quick is the RGB, and you can rotate through. There's a button here at the bottom and just kind of rotate through some of the RGBs. There's like blue, pink. Not something that I would really use it too much for, but it is there for you if you have a certain color setup, and you just select one that works for you. For now, I don't know if I could turn this off or not. Yeah, so for now I'm just gonna turn it off. You just hold that down and it'll turn off, which is cool. This first one is like the feet, just mainly just this control deck. So obviously there's scenes, you can work through scenes. If you want to create a specific folder for something, you could do that. If I want to, you know, have a folder for like all my music stuff, you could do that. So just title this Spotify. Enter there. Oh. And it'll just show up there at the bottom. Can't really see it too well here. I'll see if I can get it closer for you. Yeah, that's not gonna work very well, but you can select an icon. So if I go to the library here, it kind of has some stuff for you. So let's do something like that just for Spotify. Right, and then once you click on that, now you're in a new folder that will have all your Spotify stuff. So moving on with the theme of Spotify. Spotify's always been a little weird with the Stream Deck, just because you have to connect the app through like a third-party API program, and then you have to come back and then add in all this stuff. And sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. So I did some testing and it works about the same. I didn't have too many issues. So I'll just show you that now. Obviously my main ones are, you know, play, previous, next. I'm already logged in, so I'm not going to show you that whole thing. And then I do have some playlists, so I can do that. And then you'll select some of their playlists here. I'll just leave that one on there just to see if it plays the playlist. What's another one here? You do shuffle mode, and obviously the volumes will just go here and then volume down there. You can set it to how much volume. And again, this is a Spotify app that you have to download from the store here. So if you just search Spotify, it'll be the Spotify integration app. So easy to do. Yeah, so that should be good. So we should be able to test it. I do have Spotify open over here. So we'll add it there. And then we'll just do, oh, sorry about that. And then we'll just do, let's play. Okay, so it selected the playlist and now it's playing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower this down. Can't really hear it there. Okay, so that does work. You play there. I'm gonna keep this really low. I don't want to copyright it. And then just hit next, and it will go to the next track. It'll show you that it's playing the next track. You're not seeing it there, which is awesome. Got too much stuff on my screen here. I'll go there. Yeah, so you just click next here, switches the next song, and the volume. If you see the volume right above my head, it does go up and down. A little finicky, so you can adjust that as you need. And I just hit pause there. It pauses it, gives you a little check mark, say it completed the action. Then play, gives you a check mark, saying it completed the action. So the animations itself are not the best, but it does do what it needs to. I think Spotify is one of those that is always kind of finicky to me, but it does work. It works as best as it can for you. So if that's something that you are looking for, then by all means. YouTube does have some stuff here, like for streaming, for example. So if you want to use that, you can. Right there. So this is a speed test. So another really cool thing, you don't need to set up anything there. It's just going to pick the closest server. If I hit speed test, it's going to give me, you know, sort of that speed test where you go on the website and it does the test, etc. Takes a little bit, so we're going to run it through, and obviously there like are my speeds, so you'll see it on here, but you also can see it on the screen. It does work. So if this is something that you just want to test real quick, you can, and you can check that out. All right, so Discord, obviously this is a big one, so I'm gonna just add some of these. So now let's do deafen. Let's do a voice channel, and then we could select a certain voice channel. So this is like my live game chat channel. And then, so what we'll do is we'll join that. Right, so now we are joined the channel, I believe. Yes, we are. I wish it gave you, it does. So it gives you the check mark here. You can't see it on screen, but it shows you a check to show that it did go into the channel. And then obviously when you mute, you can see the mute there, and then unmute. This is a big one because it's always one of those where, you know, if you're playing games with friends, etc., you gotta like go and click the button on the screen. So the mute has always been like the best thing. And then deafen, if you just want to deafen everybody, and you can do that. So really cool. The Discord's one of those that's, you know, obviously a built-in feature. There is a soundboard option, which was, I thought it was kind of cool. Yeah, you can select a certain, you know, sound and it'll play it for you. It is going to play out to Discord. So wherever you have your output set up to Discord, that's where it's going to play to. I have mine set up differently right now, but that does work also. OBS Studio obviously is a big one. So this is one of those. So I'd probably want to, you know, create a folder here like OBS, right? So we go back to control, create a folder. Let's take a look at the icon library here. Just do something like that for now. So obviously you'll come in here and add some of these. It's not going to work for me right now because I'm recording in OBS, but essentially you got your record, you got your stream, scene selections, you know, stuff like that. So obviously you'd want to have like some different scenes, set it up how you want, but as you can see, it is populating down there. Let's go back here. And obviously this is our main, without getting too crazy with, you know, customization, that's kind of just some of the main things I wanted to run through. Obviously OBS, Discord, music, Spotify. This was something cool that I found is a MIDI controller. So, you know, if you wanted to, obviously there's way more instructions on how to do this. Probably take a little bit to set up, but you know, if you're not familiar with a MIDI controller is, it's essentially you can have a keyboard or some type of controller to control different functions. So like, for example, voice meter has mute buttons and etc. So you could set that up within voice meter to act. So this will act as a controller for voice meter, even though I think voice meter does have an app on here, maybe. It does. So voice meter already has an app on here. You probably wouldn't need that, but I don't see. Yeah, here it is. So voice meter. Yeah, so it has like the mute, unmute, etc. So there are other, you know, buttons that you can map to a MIDI controller outside of these. So if that's something that you want to use, then you can. So for the most part, that is, you know, basically the D6 in a nutshell. Really handy, really neat. I mean, it works perfectly compared to, if we look at the Stream Deck compared to the D6, the buttons are probably about 20% bigger on the D6. So if that's something that, you know, is important to you, I will say from looking at this, I'm kind of taking a close look here. The pixels on the D6 are actually a little bit finer. So the quality, God, I wish you could see the quality. This is not doing justice with the camera, but the quality itself on the pictures is better than the Stream Deck. Not by much, but that's my takeaway. I mean, this thing is awesome. I'm actually going to use this probably as a daily driver for my main, and then I use the Stream Deck just as something simple stuff. This thing is well worth $80. It can do everything it needs to for you. If there's certain applications that they don't have yet, I imagine in the future they're going to be, you know, adding support to it. So I'd say if it's something that the Stream Deck already has, it's probably going to come to this D6 in the future. So just keep that in mind. But for the most part, it has everything you need. It's something that's super, super nice. It's really nice that it came on the scene for these guys at a affordable price. So yeah, that's going to be it for my kind of overview and review of the Fifine D6. I think it's something that you should definitely add if you were thinking about the Stream Deck and didn't want to spend the, you know, $130 or whatever it costs right now. I know it doesn't go on sale, but this goes on sale also. So I'd be looking out for, you know, something a little bit cheaper, maybe in the $60 range. If you can find it at that price, it's an absolute steal. I wouldn't hesitate. But even at $80, I think it's well worth the money. It does a great job of integrating a lot of the apps. It makes it easier, you know, workflow wise for you. And I think it's something that's super useful. And I'm glad that they introduce stuff like this for the budget friendly streamer or budget friendly content creator like myself or for you. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I appreciate you watching, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.